So from here, just begin to connect with your seat, maybe bringing a block or a blanket underneath your sit bones. And as your eyes close, you might choose to bring your palms to heart center, finding that joining in Anjali Mudra and allowing here this ritual of joining the palms to be symbolic of the joining of your breath with your movement as we begin to come into your practice. And so here, tuning in with the natural movements of your body that occur as you inhale, as you exhale. And noticing first the bigger movements that come with our breath, perhaps that movement of your chest, perhaps tuning in with the movement in your abdomen as you breathe. And also noticing the more subtle movements that accompany your breath. Our lungs are three-dimensional. When we breathe in, they inflate the front and the back body. So maybe tuning in with that more subtle movement in your back body. And then going even more subtle with your awareness, tuning in here with the shift in energy that comes as you inhale, as you exhale. And letting your breath here be a guide away from the outer world into your inner landscape, helping you move from a space of doing, of acting, into this sacred space of just being, breathing in, breathing out. And if you haven't yet, let's begin here to consciously lengthen your inhale. Consciously lengthen your exhale. Let's begin to find just a moment of pause, little beats at the top of your in-breath where you suspend your breath. An equal length pause at the bottom of your exhale where you suspend your breath outward. And these moments of pause are a good opportunity to hear your internal voice. So listening deeply here, if you have an intention for your practice, allow yourself to repeat it internally 3 times. And here we'll resonate the sound of Om. Allow your next inhale to prepare you. Take a big inhale here. At the top of your inhale, retain your breath. Draw your chin in, squeeze your muscles to the midline, and as you exhale, release both hands down to your knees. Put your eyes open here. And as your eyes open, track your chin upward, stretching into the front of your throat only so much as you can without causing pain in the back of your neck. And then exhale, we'll take the opposite direction, chin drawing deeply inwards. Find a deep curve into your cervical spine. Drop your gaze down. Inhale here, track your eyes, nose, and chin upwards. Maybe find a little loosening of the jaw as you lift up, kind of hinging the mouth open. And then taking its opposite, drawing your chin deeply inwards. This time as your chin comes in, extend your fingertips behind you, palms parallel to each other. If it's attainable, maybe press your fingertips into the ground. Nice active arms here, breathing here. Good, and as you inhale, let's bring the arms with us. So gaze tracks upwards, hands come up and over our head. Maybe finding that little hinging of the jaw open here. And next exhale, let's take an easy twist to the right. Bring your left hand to your right knee. Right hand comes behind your body. Take your right arm now out at shoulder height. So lift your hand away from the ground. Stretch away from your shoulder. Bend into your elbow. Invite your hand just below the curve of your skull to your neck. Lean backwards into your neck. Kind of peeling upwards of your heart. Nice big inhale here. Exhale. Lengthen to the left, reach your elbow to the left. Inhale, coming straight up and down. Exhale, curling inwards to the left. Breathing here with your breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Good. The next time we come up, let's release your hand here. Stretch that right wrist away from your shoulder, then plug your hand into the ground behind your sacrum. Let yourself come back to awareness of your full breath here. Big full inhale all the way to the base of your spine. Full complete exhale. On an inhale, let's come back to center. As you come back to center, stretch your fingertips over your head. Arms could be parallel here, or you might choose to interlace your hands. Press the palms of your hands upwards, gaze forward, or take that curve into your cervical spine. Lift your chin. On an exhale, twisting now towards the left, right hand to your left knee. Left hand starts behind the body, then lifts upwards with your inhale. Take that bend into the left elbow. Invite the left hand underneath the curve of your skull. Lean backwards, lift up. Big inhale here. Exhale, leaning towards the right. So inhaling up, lifting your gaze. Exhale, take that little dip. Good. The next time you come straight up and down here, release that left hand out. Take a nice big inhale. Imagine somebody tugging on your wrist, lengthening, drawing your torso backwards, then release your hand to the ground behind your sacrum. Keep your gaze over your back shoulder as you breathe fully here. Good. Inhale here. Let's release the hands back upwards. Rotate your hands back towards center. Use your exhale. Draw both hands to heart center through that midline of the body, the Sushumna. Roll your shoulders backwards here. Find a lift in your heart, lift in your gaze. Then exhale. Let's lengthen over our folded legs. Walk your fingertips forward as much as you comfortably can here. So never going over that 90% point of body limit here. So staying somewhere where you can still breathe easily. Good. On an inhale, begin to walk your fingertips inwards. Lift your torso upwards. Let's switch the cross of your legs here. If you're cross-legged, always an opportunity to be kneeling if cross-legged is becoming less comfortable. Let's begin to drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Rotate your chin inward so that you're gazing over that right shoulder, and then rotate your chin forward. Maybe lift your eyes to the sky. So seeking here with these little movements up and down the sweet spot where we're really going to begin to release whatever tension you might be holding into the left side of your neck. Option to stay here, or take your left fingertips here, plug them into the ground if they reach, maybe a block. Now, if that's too much of an intensifier, always the opportunity to bring that left hand back to the left knee. Breathing deeply here, really beginning to consciously lengthen your exhale. It's a good way to release any tension that you encounter. Maybe staying here, maybe rest your right hand ever so gently without pulling on the top of your head. So just finding that rest, finding this breath. Again, always the opportunity to back up if you take something here that doesn't serve you. Big inhale here, releasing your hands if you work them into it. Bring your hands back to your heart. Roll your shoulders backwards. Find a nice big lift into the crown of your head, bottom of your chin, parallel to the ground. You're going to rotate your chin towards the left shoulder, so away from where we were just stretching. Chin still parallel to the ground. This twist, only our neck is in it. Breathing here. Maybe again, find that little hinging into your jaw. And on an inhale, let's bring it back towards center. Release your hands down. Settle that left ear now towards your left shoulder. Play here. Before we decide to sit into the different variations that we have into this next stretch, just find the angle that will best serve you. And as you find that ideal angle, that ideal space in which to release the stress that you're holding in the right side of your neck, maybe those right fingertips want to extend here. Maybe they want to press into the ground. So take a few breaths between these different variations that we're working with. That gives you time to embody and to feel into the shape that we're working with. That way we're not just moving unconsciously into what we think we should do. We're really deeply listening to the body. So option to stay here, or take that little add-on of resting, not pulling, resting that top hand on your head. And here, just diving into the breath. Nice big inhale. Full, complete exhale. One more nice big inhale here. Holding for the exhale. Nice lengthened exhale. And on an inhale, if you've worked your hands into this, let's join the hands at heart center. Bring your head back towards center. As you extend upwards through the crown of your head, draw your head ever so slightly back in space to align your ears over your shoulders. And then we'll rotate just the chin towards that right shoulder. Keep your jaw nice and soft. A little more deeply, perhaps with the eyes over that right shoulder, breathing here. And inhale here, let's bring ourselves back to center. Release your hands down to the ground, just beginning to rock a little bit side to side here, lifting the knees up, lifting the feet up as we rock, just moving a little side to side. And the next time you find yourself reaching, let's say towards the right hand side, let's plant the right hand down, extend the left fingertips upwards. Big inhale here. As you exhale, bend into that lifted elbow. Drop your gaze towards your right hand. So we're going to inhale, bring your gaze forward, extend your left fingertips towards the right. Exhale, bending into your elbow. Squeeze your shoulder blades together as you drop your gaze. So inhale, gaze comes forward. Exhale, squeezing inwards, rotate down. Move here with your breath. Good. One more nice inhale here. Exhale, let's bring it back to center. Dropping your opposite fingertips down, opposite fingertips reach upwards, stretching now towards the left. Bend into your right elbow, drop your gaze towards your left palm. Inhale, straighten and stretch. Exhale, drop your gaze. Find that squeezing of the shoulder blades towards each other. Moving here with your own breath's rhythm. Good, next inhale here. Let's bring it back to center. Good, nice rolling of the shoulders. Worked a lot into them already today. Let's roll opposite shoulders. Good, and then we'll switch. So roll opposite shoulders forward. Good, nice big shake out here. Now let's release anything that might be underneath your seat. I've been seated on a blanket, so scooting that out of the way. If you choose to, if you have a hard floor underneath you, you might take a blanket underneath your knees here. I'm going to come to hands and knees, kneeling position. That's comfortable for you. And we're going to start by supporting the weight of the body forward onto the fingertips. Curl your toes under. Begin to sit back onto your heels. So stretching here into your plantar fascia. And you might stay here with your fingertips supporting you, or you might give the heels the full weight of your body. The fingertips in the ground, or leaning fully into the heels. And if we're leaning, maybe you'll bring your hands to heart center. So breathing here. Good. Just allowing that fascia and the soles of our feet to open here. Really prepares the whole body to move. Breathing here. And next exhale, let's lean forward again. If you're not already, as your fingertips press into the ground, free your toes. Give your toes a nice little wiggle. Nice little rotation into your ankles, moving in both directions. And then settle your knees onto the ground. As your knees settle, set yourself up onto a healthy hands and knees position here. So we've got hands, shoulders width distance apart, knees, hips width distance apart. Let's lengthen our right toes behind us. Just begin to roll here, pressing your right heel backwards. And as you come forward, you might roll over those right toes if that toe flexibility is there. So pressing backwards, rolling forward, just beginning to awaken the big muscles on the back of our right leg. The next time you find yourself pressing back through your right heel, let's rotate the right heel down. Stretch the right fingertips up to the sky, coming into this variation of our side plank. So I've got the outer edge of my right foot pressing into the ground. Option to stay here, or take the variation, stretch that right arm parallel to the right ear. You might stay here. You might even find that you can rotate your heart and gaze upwards here. Good, big inhale. Let's reach the right fingertips back up to the sky. Exhale, find yourself once more on your hands and your knees. Good, here, left leg is going to extend, left toes pressing into the ground, left heel pressing backward, and then rolling forward. So moving here with your breath. Now, the next time you find yourself pressing back through your left heel, let's rotate, heel down, toes forward. Extend your left fingertips up to the sky here. An option is stay here with those fingertips reaching for the sky, or extend forward. Breathing here into the left side body as we find an opening here. Maybe staying here Maybe drawing your elbow and shoulder backwards, rotating your gaze upwards, taking this little variation. Good, and if your arm is reaching forward, let's again extend it up to the sky. Rotate your gaze forward, then down, returning here into our tabletop position. Drop your heart forward, lift your gaze upwards. Nice big inhale here. Exhale, find your cat pose. That's the center of your spine up. Drop the weight of your head down. Moving through these variations of our chakra bakasana, each inhale, find that lengthening. Each exhale, find that curving, curling inwards. Notice here if you're gripping into the jaw as you move, inviting a softness there. Good, and then here, taking a seat onto your heels. Keep your hands in front of you as you come to your heels. Rotate your fingertips backwards. Press the front of your wrist forward. So taking here a nice little wrist stretch. Good, so option to stay here, or we could take a few rounds of our lion's breath. So if you want to go with the lion's breath, let's maybe walk the wrist slightly forward. Come forward so that you can curl your toes under before sending your weight back onto your heels. In our lion's breath, we take a really nice inhale through the nose. Exhale is our silly exhale with the tongue sticking out as much as it can, eyes opening as wide as they can and looking up to the sky. I think it's a nice little soft roar sound. A good release for tension held in the neck, the jaw. Nice big inhale. We'll do two more of those. Nice big inhale. Another big inhale here. Good, let's rotate your wrist forward here, fingertips pointing forward. Walk your hands back out beneath your shoulders. Keep your toes curled under. And then an inhale, let's lift the hips up and back, coming into our first Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And let yourself be wiggly here if that's what your body craves. So maybe bending, straightening into opposite knees. To keep the angle of your hips pointing back towards where the wall meets the ceiling. And from this wiggly space, let's begin to actively stretch both hip points backwards. Let your head be heavy here, neck nice and long, jaw nice and soft. Let's begin to come back to your yogi breath. Nice big inhale, full complete exhale. Then an inhale, let's lift your gaze. Walk your toes forward, finding yourself at the top line of your yoga mat. And as you inhale next, bring both hands to your knees, lengthen your spine parallel to the ground, then draw your belly button in, let your spine descend long, release the weight of your head down here. Inhale, bring both hands to your hips, roll your shoulders onto your spine, then exhale, rise up here. Inhale, reaching upwards. Exhale, lengthen forward, lower your fingertips back down to the ground, coming back into our shape of our Uttanasana. Find your half lift here, Ardha Uttanasana, then exhale, soften in. Step backwards with the right toes. Nice big inhale here. Keep that back heel free. As you exhale, draw your belly button in, bring both hands to your hips. Let's rotate the right toes down, drop that heel. Inch the toes backwards to give you some space to bend into your front knee. Keep that knee tracking outwards towards the middle toe. And then extend your fingertips away from each other. Stretch your fingertips outwards. Draw your shoulder blades inwards. So playing here with our warrior, this time I want you to look away from that front arm. We're looking backwards in our warrior. Keep bending into that front knee. Finding your breath here. Let's rotate our front palm facing upwards. Keep your gaze backwards as you drop that back hand down. Lift your front arm upwards. Good. Let's take this hand, reaching down our back. Let's reach it behind our back body. Nice big inhale here. As you exhale, bring your gaze forward. Bring this left elbow to your left knee. So we're coming into a variation of our side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. Keep leaning your weight backwards, so backwards into the heels, almost as if you could wiggle the toes here. Option to keep that right arm behind the back or extend the right fingertips forward. Maybe drop your gaze down, maybe look forward or up. Seeking the movement here that will best release any held tension in your neck. Breathing deeply here. Nice big inhale. Exhale, send that back hand back to your hip. Release your back heel. As your back heel spins upwards, toes spin forward, both hands are going to come down to the ground. Plant your palms here. Press into your palms. Invite your left foot backward, coming into your downward dog here, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Keep your spine nice and long. Keep your weight about 70–75% into your legs, your feet. And so if you need to, always the option to bend deeply into your knees here. It'll keep your weight off of your wrists. Good. As you inhale, let's lift your heels upwards. Float your body forward. Come into your plank pose. Walk your left hand in towards your midline. Come onto the outer edge of your left foot. Right foot could come in front of you, supporting the weight. Right fingertips are going to peel up to the sky here. So right foot is either in front of us, supporting the weight, or feet are stacked here, coming into our Vasisthasana, side plank pose. Breathing here. And at an exhale, let's lower our lifted hand, bringing your body back into the top of a plank pose. Big inhale here. Exhale, lower the weight of your body down. And as your body lowers, uncurl your toes, roll your shoulders back, peel your heart upwards. Nice cobra. And exhale, lower the weight of your body down. Curl your toes under, bring yourself either to hands and knees, or up once more into that Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. At an inhale, lift your gaze, lift your heels, walk your toes forward. Find that forward fold at the top line of your yoga mat. Use your inhale, rise halfway, gaze down, spine long. Exhale, soften in. Inhale here, both hands come to your hips, roll your shoulders onto your spine. Use your exhale, rise up, press the floor away from you. Inhale, reaching upwards. Exhale, both hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Inhale here, stretch up. Exhale, soften forward. Let your spine descend long. Use your inhale, lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, draw inward. Step backwards with your left toes. Keep that heel free. Nice big inhale here. As you exhale, bring your hands to your hips. Lift your torso upwards. Spin your back heel down. Back toes point forward. Give yourself a moment here just to set your foundation. We want our weight equally distributed between our front foot and our back foot. As you find that foundation, extend your fingers outwards. Stretch through your fingertips. Draw your shoulder blades together. Rotate your gaze backwards over those back hands. Breathing here into our Virabhadrasana 2. Good, next exhale, release your back hand down. Rotate the front palm forward and then find your exalted warrior, gaze down. Keep that front knee pressing outwards. Don't let it knock inwards. The front elbow lifting upwards. Option to stay here or take that back hand, reach behind your back. Big inhale here, and then exhale. Bring your right elbow to your right knee. Rotate your top shoulder open. Invite both shoulder blades backwards, so lengthening of the torso backwards. Maybe keep your hand pinned behind your back or extend that arm forward, coming here into our Parsvakonasana, our extended side angle. Good, on an exhale, bring that top hand back to your hip. Release your back heels. The back heels lift. Spin the toes forward. Bring both hands to the ground. Walk your front foot backwards here into your downward dog. Lift both heels up. Float your shoulders forward into your Balakasana, plank pose. And then walk your right hand to your midline. Come to the outer edge of the left foot. Right foot, bottom foot. Top foot can come in front of you to support you as your top arm lifts, or stack the heels here. Keep your hips lifting. Or Narbasti-stasana, side plank. Good, one more big inhale. Exhale, lower your lifted hand. Bring yourself back to your plank pose. Inhale here. And then exhale, gently lower your body. As your body lowers, roll your shoulders back. Lift your heart into your cobra. And exhale, lowering here. Bring yourself to hands and knees. Option to stay here or lift your hips up and back, coming to your downward facing dog. Next exhale, lower both knees down to the ground. Come to a kneeling position here and orient yourself so that you're seated parallel or horizontally on your mat. Going to send both hands to the left, both knees to the left, feet to the right. Ensure that you're not kneeling on your left foot with that left foot free. Plant your right hand behind your right hip. Stretch your fingertips up to the sky, breathing here. Big inhale. Exhale, lower your lifted hand. Plant the left hand behind the left hip. Extend your right fingertips up to the sky, breathing here. Option to stay here or press into your left hand, lift your hips up, taking us into a kneeling back bend. And on an exhale, let's lower your hips if they're lifted. Lean back into both hands. Release your knees now to the right, feet point to the left. Drop your left hand down, reach your right fingertips up, breathing here. And we'll switch. Right hand lowers, left hand lifts. Option to stay here or press into that back hand, lift your hips up, peel your heart up, lift your gaze. And lower if your hips are lifted. Bring yourself back to center. Back onto our hands and our knees. And from our hands and our knees, let's bring ourselves up into our plank pose. So head, heart, hips in a straight line. Begin to walk your left hand inwards. Transition to the outer edge of your right foot. Left foot. Bring your right foot in front of you. So side plank like we started. Here though, I want you to take this right foot from in front. Bring that right foot behind you, so behind the lower leg. Extend your top hands forward. Let's transition to the back foot stretching backwards. Top arm reaching forward. And we'll come back into our plank. Breathing here. Hinge your hips up and back. Let your spine lengthen. Walk your toes slightly inwards so your heels can descend downward. Walk both hands, one hand print closer to your toes. We're shortening the space. Lift your left hand. That was our supporting hand a moment ago. Lift that upwards. Reach underneath your down dog. Grab for the outer edge of your right leg. And then unwind. Come back to your downward dog. Walk your hands forward. Bring both knees down to the ground, and as your knees lower, separate them max width distance. Join your big toes and your hips to your heels as your arms lengthen in front of you, coming into your pose of the child. An option to stay here, arms long, or take our prayerful child. Bend into your elbows. Send your fingertips behind your head, reaching up to the sky. Maybe walk those elbows closer to the front line of your yoga mat. And here, if we're in a prayerful child, begin to lengthen and extend your arms outward. Press your palms into the ground. Press into your palms to bring yourself back up into your tabletop position, hands and knees. Press here into your palms. Invite your toes backwards, coming back into our plank pose. This time, right hand is going to come in towards the midline. Transition to the outer edge of your right foot. Top left foot is first going to come forward to support you. Then take this forward foot, walk it behind your straight lower leg. Keep the hips lifting. And as the hips come up, we're going to rotate the lower toes backwards. Press your hips and heart upward. Extend your lifted arm forward towards the wall behind you. This is our wild thing pose, just coming into it a little differently. Good. We'll begin to transition back into our plank pose. And from our plank, hinge your hips up and back. Walk your toes forward. Coming into our Adho Mukha Svanasana. Let's take one handprint backwards, shortening the space between your toes and your hands. Take the supporting hand, so the right hand is going to reach backwards. Grab a hold of the outer edge of the left leg. Cats, you're being ridiculous here. Both of you move. And at an inhale, let's unwind back into our downward dog. And from our downward dog, let's lower the knees to the earth. Knees might stay together at this time, might separate to max width distance. Once more, bring your hips backwards. Stretch your arms forward. Coming into our pose of the child, Balasana. Arms might stay forward, or you might take that little hinge of the elbows, joining the palms together. Point your fingertips to the sky. And at an exhale, lengthen your arms if you've taken that option to bend. Press into your palms, walk yourself back to your hands and your knees. And let's bring ourselves again facing the horizontal edge of your yoga mat. Curl your toes under here, lift your knees upwards, and let's work our way to standing from here. So sitting parallel on the yoga mat. Begin to separate your heels away from each other. Separating enough that you're feeling a little bit of a stretch perhaps, but not so much that you feel unsteady or that you begin to collapse on the inner ankles. So keep the outer edges of both feet pressing down. On an inhale, stretch upwards. On an exhale, lengthen forward and down. Begin to walk both fingertips over towards the right ankle. Both legs straight here, breathing here. On an inhale, let's walk your hands through center, then over towards the left ankle, both legs straight. Releasing that left ankle, walk your hands towards center. Maybe stay here. Maybe rotate your fingertips backwards. Maybe the head can land gently without pressure on the ground. And on an inhale, begin to walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Lengthen your spine long, heel toe your feet or walk your feet inwards here. And with your hands down, let's lower your knees down. So returning to the earth, that kneeling position. Let's orient ourselves again lengthwise on our mat. Keep your hips nice and high, centered over your knees. Begin to walk your palms forward. Option 2, settle a block underneath your head, moving here towards our downward puppy. So if you have no cervical issues, no history of neck injury, lift your gaze, lower your chin, maybe to the block, maybe all the way down to the ground. If that causes you pain, just bring the forehead down, but do keep the hips nice and high here. In here, press into your palms, lift your torsos, your hands walk inwards, and we'll just flip ourselves so that we're lying on our belly. And take a moment here as you come to your back body. Keep your knees bent, feet flat on the ground. Begin to press into your feet. As you press into your feet, bring the small of your back into the ground. So you're reaching the sacrum slightly away from your shoulder blades. And we'll do the opposite. Draw the base of the sacrum towards your shoulder blades. That action is going to lift the low back away from the ground. So these are small movements. Hips are staying on the earth. Going to press the low back into the ground. You feel the tailbone lift upwards towards the sky. And then taking that opposite action. So just playing with a little bit of nutational movement into the sacrum. Good. Stay here with the small of your back lifted away from the ground. So it's almost as if you're creating a little bridge for little ants to pass underneath your body. Keep that space between the low back and the ground. And then just begin to roll side to side. Bringing a little bit of massaging almost into these muscles along the top edge of your hips. Begin to still this movement. And as this movement stills, bring your sacrum into a neutral position so we're neither pressing up or pressing down. Lift both knees away from the ground. Extend your arms out into the shape of a T here at shoulder height, wrists reaching away from the shoulders, and then begin to roll the knees from side to side. So bringing that same massaging action now into the low and the mid back. The massage happening. And the next time you find both knees reaching towards the right, drop your knees downwards. Bring your right hand to your top knee. Gaze comes over the left shoulder. Breathing here in our Jathara Parvriti. And if you want to add a little flair, you might even kick both heels outwards towards the right, stretching your right arm forward, catching one or both sets of toes. And on an exhale, releasing if that legs are straight to the right, bending again into your knees. Use an inhale to invite your knees back towards center. And instead of just rocking to the other side, take a minute here, just reset. Let your knees and hips rock side to side. Back into that space of massaging, a little bit of self-care thrown into your practice this morning. And now the next time your knees rock to the left, let's release them downwards. Maybe bring your left hand to your right knee. Gaze comes over the right shoulder. Maybe taking that variation, kicking your feet outwards, grabbing a hold of the toes with the left fingertips. Breathing deeply here. And on an inhale, let's release both knees, coming back towards center. Squeeze your knees inwards. Wrap your arms around the front of your knees and your chin. Maybe lift your shoulders and your nose upwards. Nice big inhale here. And as you exhale, let your body soften down to the ground. Bring both knees back to the ground. Taking any adjustments here that will allow your body to be comfortable. And then beginning to move towards your Shavasana. So let your wrists rotate so that your palms face upwards. Let your legs lengthen. Your heels settle. And as your heels settle into the ground, let your toes roll outwards or inwards as they naturally do. Feel the weight of your body fully supported here. Feel your body growing heavy. Any remaining tension left in your body here, draining gently outwards. Bring yourself into this healing space of stillness. Invite your body to fully relax. Know that in this stillness, this space, your body is able to fully integrate, fully digest all the benefits of your practice. And gently here to bring your awareness back to your breath. As your awareness gently returns to your breath, find some small movements into your body. Wiggle into your fingers and your toes. A rotation to your wrists, your ankles. And as you're ready, begin to find a nice big good morning stretch. Fingers backwards, toes forward. Bring your knees in towards your body. Wrap your arms around your knees. Give yourself a nice little squeeze. Allow yourself to come to rest on one side. And from here, bring yourself gently up to a seat. And joining both your hands here at heart center. Take a moment here in stillness with your gaze inwards. Just noticing. Noticing this way that practice has landed this morning for you physically. For your energetic self. Notice that there's been a shift in the way your breath is moving in your body. From this space, we will intone the sound of Om. Feel free to join in. Om. Send a sense of gratitude outwards to those with whom you share your practice. And inwards to yourself for carving out this time to connect with your breath and your body. I am so grateful to share this practice with you.